Hello, 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 hello. I hope that you can hear me because God got me sitting in my car again. Um, I don't know if the connection will be good. I don't even know. Here to do the turnaround, and like I said, I didn't know how long God was gonna have me to do it, but he obviously he's gonna have me do it until he tells me to stop. It was about rejection. I wake up and God just leads me into a place um, for me this is truly therapeutic to me. It's allowing me to solidify my deliverance. The more I talk about it, the more I explain it, the more I set myself free. So know that while I'm doing this, it's really and truly to set me free. And he did say that as you're setting yourself free, you are able to set others free, because there's some things that they just won't talk about. There's some things that they won't open their mouth and say, or I'm dealing with this because of circumstances are. So when I'm talking and I'm giving these turnarounds, it's literally about my life. It's literally about the struggles that I had to come out of, the things that I had to fight, the things that I had to declare over. And I didn't do it by myself. I did it with my wife. My wife was a major part of a lot of my deliverance and my that God had her doing in the background that I really didn't know at the time. And she was doing her thing. She was pressing into, truly being disciplined to God and the things that He was asking her to do. And that, you don't really know what your declarations are doing in the spirit realm. So when you don't see something, that's what faith is. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things there. That really doesn't matter to God, because God can do exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask. God is really and truly doing. You just happen to not being seeing it, and the enemy will keep you in a place where you need to actually need to be obedient to God and watch God work. So today it was about rejection coming off. And if you know my story, tested by a babysitter and show you how to love. So she perverted what was literally supposed to be what but it was perverted. But I can go back further, a little further than that. When I was in my mother's womb, there was a spirit, and my dad wasn't married, and there were going to be pressures if my pregnant. And so it was like, do we or don't we? My father, he had his own moments, and he did his own deal with the situation of her life being altered, in a whole nine. So womb, that's real. I had to live that, and not only live it, but when I left me with my grandmother, and my grandmother didn't have she had got a divorce, and so really, really painful. It was a painful situation for her. And so she didn't have love me. So now I'm living with a person that has that's doesn't have the capacity of the under of the under stuff. And so it made it a really tough to grow up. And so I grew up with a place of rejection, where and even abandonment, because it was like I wasn't living with my mom, I wasn't living with my dad. And so now you have all of these things, and yes, so the fantasies and all of these things, that these dreams, and the lying spirit, because a spirit of walls up. It will cause you to it will break up um communities that happen, that are the entry points are out of place dads, out of place moms, the lying spirit, distrust, parents didn't love you. That was that's the thinking that you have, that your parents didn't love you. They love you, but if you don't feel that love, then to you, they really didn't love you. And that's how I felt. They really didn't love me. I had to stay with my grandmother. I love that I did with my grandma. I wouldn't even change it, because at the end, my grandmother knew how to love me, because we had conversations. We had things that happened in our life that brought us so close, and it was really real to me. But how this thing works. So for me, I'm just telling you how it was for me. And so I hope that of understanding how rejection, your life. It really affected, because once I got to an age where I was molested. That perspective of what love is. So now it's a rejected person. I'm a rejected person that really doesn't even know how to love, because the love that I do know how to love is already perverted as a kid. I'm just saying. I'm saying a kid that was rejected. So now I got a chip on my shoulder as a kid. So I play, everything that I've done, every sport that I play, I've always probably been I was the shortest person on the team, on the squad, in the huddle, everywhere. I was just the shortest person. So I had to think differently. I had to create something differently. I had to create a mentality. They say, oh, the mama mentality, or I've been watching this Jordan thing, and they say his thinking. And you know where the thinking mentality came from? A place of rejection. He was rejected, like, from his dad, because his older brother got all the credit. And so someone understand or see who he was. That was me. I had to do things over and beyond. I wanted somebody to love me, or show me some type of love that I don't just self-destruct. Because if you stay in rejection, you'll start destroying yourself, because you build up that nobody can get into. And so I was doing this thing as a kid, and as I grew up as a kid, nobody hurt me. I'm never gonna let nobody, and it keeps you in a place, rejection will make you want to kill yourself here. That's why as a kid, I was suicidal. I was like, dude, I might well go and kill myself. Nobody don't love me. My mama don't love me. My daddy don't. That's my thinking. Not saying that they didn't love me, but that's just the way I felt. That's what I felt. And if I felt that way, that's the way it was in my mind and in my heart. And so that's how I'm in that place. And so that happened. That place was all the way through elementary, all the way through middle school. The only place that I felt love and accepted was on a football field. Literally. Once I walked off the football field, rejection, abandonment, all of that stuff, reality was in place. Reality was in place, because I was going home to a rejected place. I was going home to isolation. I was going home to no one is saying, oh my God, good job, I love you, or coming to the games and doing all this, and then having a conversation. I didn't have, it wasn't my part. No, none of my friends really knew what the heck what was going on with me. I was just going home and I was cry. I would go in my room and I would cry. I would go home and cry. I would be so depressed because no one really paid attention to it. No one that I thought should love me. Bad thing. It was just, it was that situation. So I just didn't really want to deal with it, but I just wanted to kill myself. As a little kid. And so you think about the bullying situation and all of these things on a little kid, and what do? I'm saying that was me. I was that little kid. Then I got into middle school pretty much the same way. I still stay living with my grandmother. Every now and then I stayed with my mom, but it always ended up back with my grandmother. High school. And I met this person. named Yvette. When I saw her, I literally told my friend, I'm going to marry her. So I don't even know who you are. I don't even know your name. But all I know is I'm going to marry you. And let me tell you something. That very moment, something inside of me changed. God knew what she had, what she had inside of her that would be able to help me. And man, I'm telling you, because if stalking was a thing back then I was a stalker, because I literally chased Yvette. And if anybody knows me from Bayshore High School, anybody knows me during that 2 years of my time, I literally chased my wife. She was my friend then. My best friend all day, every day. I didn't think about suicide. I didn't think about, she showed me a different love. I mean, she was my friend. It's perverted. So I wanted sex. I wanted all. I wanted it all. If we gonna be friends, I want it all. But allow it. She wanted to be more than just that to me. And she really, she was a junior. I'm a freshman. Who does that? You know what I mean? Her friends was like, why is this little boy hanging around with you? And I was literally looking like a little boy because I was probably the smallest thing in the high school. And so it was like, why is this little boy hanging around you? You know, he's aggravating. He's da-da-da-da-da-da. But she was like, that's my friend. That's my friend. She'll take me home from the phone because I would just come out of the locker room. She was there. She would talk to me, make sure I'm okay, make sure my mind is right. When I'm telling you, kid, no one ever did that for me. But she was after the game. Not only her, but her parents and her little sister hugging on me, congratulating me, saying all of these things. I never got that as I was a little kid. I never got that in middle school. I got that when I got to her. And then I'll jump in her car, take me home. And then I wouldn't get out of the car. If she wanted to go somewhere, I wouldn't get out of the car until and then she went home. So wherever she was going to go, she couldn't go because she was stupid. I had her locked down in the car. She couldn't go anywhere, but she was talking. I don't know about y'all, but we were like those kids that talked on the phone all night. You go to sleep. No, you go to sleep. No, you go to sleep. And still be on the phone. And my grandma would be like, boy, why you on that phone? I'm just saying. This is what brought me rejection. It saved me from suicidal thoughts. And I really didn't understand. I didn't understand that this woman, this young lady was doing something to change my mind. I wasn't thinking about suicide. I'm telling you, in those 2 years that I was with Yvette, I didn't think about those things. I didn't think about it. And I'm telling you, I remember that like it was just as clear as yesterday. She came to the school and she told me that she was getting ready to go to Atlanta to go to Clark for college. And in my mind, I heard something totally different. I heard, and I'm not going to be with you anymore. And I don't even, and this was a Friday. This was back into that, I went back into that meeting room and I cried like a little baby. Thick on the ride to the game. We had to pull the bus over, let me go and whatever, and get back on the bus. Because once again, I felt rejected and I felt unloved. And I made a vow to myself. I really made a vow to myself. I said I would never, ever, ever let another person hurt me. Never let another person get to my heart. And I meant that thing. And I meant about a user spirit when that happened. It was like, nope, I'm never going to let nobody get my heart. And so it is what it is. And hey, every girl from now on going to be in trouble. And that's exactly what happened. Every girl was in trouble. So I went, this rejection thing that happened in the womb has now made me, I done went from rejected to bitter. I was operating in a bitter spirit. So I was resentful. I was hateful. I was unforgiving, and I was very angry. I went from rejection to bitterness quickly. So I became resentful. I was resenting Eva. I was mad at her. I think I might have hated her because it hurt me so bad that it was in that place that I hated her, that I was in unforgiveness, that I couldn't forgive her for leaving me. I couldn't forgive her for just letting me go. But she was going to college, y'all. It wasn't like she was like, boy, I'm leaving the earth. I don't never want to talk. I already had a problem with fantasy. I already had a problem with the way I back in. All of that stuff came back in. But here come bitterness. So now, not only am I bitter to her, I'm already was bitter with my parents. I'm bitter with my dad. So now I'm resentful to her. I'm resentful to women. I'm really hating. I'm hating it. So I'm just trying to, literally, I was like, I'm gonna destroy him. Whatever woman that comes into me, I feel like I'm gonna end up destroying because I'm not gonna love them. I'm not gonna care for them. I'm not gonna treat them right. I'm not gonna do any of that stuff. But it was something in me that wouldn't even allow me to actually do it all the time. But my flesh will say it will rise up and make me bitter toward women, angry. Because when I got off to college, I became a user. I used females because I was already angry and I didn't want to be rejected by them. So I had to do something before. It was easy for me to me to walk away from a conversation. Why? Because I was already angry. I was already rejected. And so I felt rejection when something was getting ready to go wrong in the relationship. I walk away. Why? Because I didn't want to be angry about it. I didn't want to be resentful for it. And then I became unforgiveness. And then it became really bad because then I became rebellious. I became a rebel. I became stone hearted. My heart was so hard. It wasn't even right. Now I'm operating in the spirit of witchcraft because now I'm operating in this place of manipulation. I'm manipulating these females. I'm doing stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? This, I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me. So I need you to understand the mind of somebody that was rejected from the womb and that's just live rejection. Now I'm a college kid and I'm living in a place of rejection, bitterness, and rebellion. Now these things operated in authority. My coaches, when I got to college, my coaches couldn't tell me anything. Dude, I was resentful. I was resentful for if they said something. I get angry real fast. I was unforgiving because if they said something that I didn't like, I wouldn't ever talk to them again. I'll look at them like they're crazy stuff. My dad wasn't that. Now I'm good with him. You know, it's not the way I want it to be, but you know what? I'm good. I'm not in unforgiveness. I'm not in bitterness. I'm not in resentment. I'm not in anger. I'm not in hatred. Not with my mom. Not with my grandma. No, I'm just not even in that place anymore. But it came to a time where my college life was that person. I was angry. So I just used and I was just dumb. I did some dumb stuff. And then I ended up getting married. I ended up coaching football and ended up calling my school, trying to recruit a kid, and got Yvette. Heard Yvette's voice. Yvette doesn't even know this person here. All she knows is the one that she talked to in high school, the one that she loved in high school, cared for in high school. But this person that she got, oh my God, she didn't even know what she was getting, because all I knew was I got opportunities I got the person back. God, you gave me the person back, but she didn't know what was all in me. I'm a drug addict. Now I'm alcoholic. Now I'm a liar. Now I'm angry. Now I'm resentful. Now I'm bitter. Now I'm rebellious. Now I don't trust. Now I don't know how to communicate. And now I got like a handful of things that I'm dealing with. She didn't even know. She didn't know. She didn't know what she was signing. An old friend. She was signing up for G. She didn't know who GB was. GB was somebody that, man, good God Almighty. What the heck is this? And this stuff started unraveling. We got into a ministry that started doing deliverance. It started doing more than deliverance. Now we're doing deliverance. Now we're in a prophetic. Now I'm getting, I'm getting all of this deliverance, and all of these things are happening. And she's starting to see, the lying. She's starting to see the distrust. Cause I felt like at some point in time, she wasn't going nowhere. I knew she wasn't going anywhere, but in my mind, she could leave. She can go. She can just say, I'm getting ready to leave again. And I used to always play that thing over and over in my head every time I see her. Every time she walks out of the door, is she gonna come back? Is this real? What the heck is gonna happen? So I put up a wall. So I don't really give it my all. I don't really love the way I'm supposed to love, because my love was jacked up. But I'm married now, so I can get all the love I wanted to, my love, but I wasn't showing authentic love. I didn't even know how to, love language. It was like, what the heck is a love language, man? I didn't even understand that crap. And so selfishness, self-will, self-pity, victim spirit, man, I had all of that stuff operating out of these rejection, bitterness, rebellion, I wouldn't listen to nobody. I wouldn't even listen to her. I wouldn't listen to my apostle. I wouldn't listen to anybody that had some type of authority that could actually speak into my life. That wasn't even working with me. I'm talking about, by this time, I'm in the church. By this time, I understood deliverance. By this time, I understood the prophetic. By this time, but I chose to do this thing. I chose to do this thing because I was running from the fear of not being loved, the fear of, being rejected. Listen, when I tell you this is very, very, very difficult, because rejection runs with a lot of things. And if you got any type of triggers, like I had triggers, that it triggers it really fast. It triggers it really fast, and your mind will go to thinking quickly. And so that's why God says renew your mind daily. And so I have to think on some things differently. I have to hear, because my hearing, I would hear, Yvette would say something and I would hear something totally different. I would hear it totally different. And so it came to a time where she would ask me to repeat what she said so she would understand if I understood what she was saying, because she would say something and I would treat it like it was the worst thing ever. I would treat it like I was treated like she was trying to kill me, or I wasn't hearing it right. And then she would say, "Can you repeat that for me?" And I would repeat it, and she was like, "That's not what I said." But I was hearing it from a place of rejection. I was hearing it from a place of bitterness. I was hearing it from a place of anger. I didn't like my wife. Y'all laughing. Y'all don't get it. I hated Yvette. Me and Yvette wasn't cool. We wasn't cool. There was times where we walked through the house and we didn't talk at all. Like, at all. So this ain't something that, oh, your life is so beautiful now, man. Let me tell you something. Pure hell for a decade and some other time. Just going through pure hell. It had some good moments in that time, but they didn't last long, because rejection, I never ever dealt with the spirit of rejection. Man, I was trying to get delivered from drugs, alcohol, and all of that stuff. I wasn't even trying to deal with, I didn't even think about, rejection being something that was a real stronghold. Man, that thing actually came at me in the womb. In the womb. And that thing came into my personality. It grew up in my personality. It grew up in my character. And it walked. I mean, it grew up with, and some of it stuck me in a place of arrested development. I didn't even grow, because I was stuck in this anger. I was stuck in bitterness. And it was like, oh man, you got the little man syndrome. You always angry. No, bro. Yeah, I'm angry, but I'm rejected also. I'm angry. I'm resentful. I'm resentful for what my life looked like. I'm resentful because nobody was there. I'm not saying nobody was there, but in my mind, what I really needed wasn't there. What I really wanted wasn't there. And that hurt me. That hurt me. And I grew up as a hurt young man, because I grew up with the rejection. I grew up with the bitterness. I grew up with the rebellion. Now my wife got to deal with this. Now my wife had to deal with this. Y'all better catch this one. Now my wife catching pure hell for something she ain't even do. But because she said, I'm going off to college, that in my mindset, in my mind, I'm going to jack up every relation after this. There's not going to be another female that's going to ever get to my heart. And I ended up marrying her, and she couldn't even get to my heart. She didn't even get to my heart until literally, I loved her. And I used to say that all the time. Oh, I love you. It's going to be good. She looking at me like, Gerald, love ain't got nothing to do with this. If you ain't willing to put in the work, then your love is going to go out the window. The love is just going to be, but you don't understand. I love you. You don't understand. I love you. And I had to tell myself that I love her, but I was saying it, but I wasn't putting in the work. I wasn't putting in the work. The enemy can say, before I wasn't never telling somebody I love him. I love him because I wanted sex. But I was telling her I love her because I loved her. But I didn't understand the work that I had to put in. I didn't understand the work that I had to put in. This work is not about you opening your mouth and say, Gerald, just tell her you love her. Okay, I love you, Yvette. And she would look at me like I had 5 heads. Like, you still stuck on that? I love you too. But are you gonna put some work in? Are you gonna operate in forgiveness? Are you gonna operate in something different than being angry? You don't even want to communicate. I don't know. She would. My wife. If you don't know my wife, she's a counselor, so she loves to communicate. She loves words, and I used to hate it. Let me tell you something. She would want to talk at night when I'm laying down in the bed. Now I'm feeling like I'm in a psychiatrist's office, and she I want to go to sleep, but she want to talk, and she talking, and I'm like, okay, let me process that, man. I go to sleep on her. By the time she get done half talking, I'm snoring, and that I know it pisses her off. But it was my mechanism is, man, I don't care. This is rebellious. This is my rebellious place. My rebellious place got me a stony heart because now I'm not hearing, I'm not seeing, and I'm definitely not feeling anything that anybody was saying to me. My wife was even telling me that she was like, I woke up and I felt like God said that you was getting ready to die. And I'm looking at her laughing like, man, stop trying to manipulate me. Stop trying to scare me. Then I ended up, it was a Sunday, and then I ended up going to church, and my apostle said the same thing. I said, man, y'all stop calling each other, telling each other that stuff. Man, I'm good. I'm straight. Don't worry about me. Y'all do what y'all gonna do, and I do what I gotta do. So that's a rebellious place. I was so stubborn, and I was rebellious. I had a stiff neck. I was in a place where I didn't even care what anybody said, anybody did. I just wanted to do me. And so that rebellious place, let me tell you what happened. So, because all of these things happened to me. These are the things that caused me to be locked down in a prison and be in bondage by so many different things and not even paying attention to it. Rejection from the womb opened the door for all of these things to happen to me and me not even pay attention to it. Not even pay attention to it. I wasn't paying attention to it. I'm talking about, I understood deliverance. I understood deliverance. But when that thing tells you when the demon goes out and he comes back in, he comes back in 7 times worse, dude. I was like Legion. I just named a whole bunch of stuff right there. I mean, like a whole bunch. I ain't even named all the other stuff. I'm just talking about rejection. I'm talking about bitterness, and I'm talking about rebellion and all the things that go with them. All of them demons. All of them operate in a low place, in a place. And some of them are, some of them are low level demons, and some of them are high level demons. But they all operating in the same body, operating in the same thing, manipulating and doing what they need to do. Was doing what they needed to do. I'm just saying. And it had me in a bondage place. And so my wife is dealing with this. My wife is pastoring. My wife is assistant pastor. My wife is a administrator. My wife is doing all of these things, and God is doing them. And so now I'm in a rebellious place. So now I done got resentful because my wife is growing. My wife is maturing. My wife is advancing in her career, and I'm going the opposite way. I'm failing. I feel like I'm a loser. I feel like I can't win because now I'm bitter at her. Now I can't stand her. Now I'm just talking about me. I'm talking about our story. I'm talking about how I had to live this thing. And so for the longest, this is how we lived. This is how we live until I truly, and it took a minute. It's something in her that when I come back, that she will be ready for this hot mess that's getting ready to come back, because I was still a hot mess. I made a decision and said, okay, God, because I don't want to drop in hell. I don't want to die. He said, you got a choice. Here's your choice. You can live or die. I don't want to die. Especially I don't want to die like this. I don't want to die and drop in hell. I fear that. And I do understand that there is a hell, and I didn't want to drop in hell. So I understood that. So turning around was something totally different, because I knew how far I went, and I didn't know how long it was going to take me to get back. And so it was like, okay, you got to take these steps back down. So I got to go back down unforgiveness. I got to go back down rejection. I got to go back down the road to bitterness and hatred and unforgiveness and rebellion and lust and perversion and alcohol and generational curses. I got to go back down that place. Yep. And as I was going down, I understood what God was doing in my wife, because she was praying that I had a strength to actually walk out this deliverance. I ain't had no strength, man. My flesh had total rule over me. It had total rule over me. It ruled me. It had me so wiped out that it wasn't even funny. It wasn't even funny. So I didn't even understand some of the stuff that I was actually doing. I was so rebellious. I was so rejected. I was so unforgiveness that it was like I didn't even forgive I had to first forgive myself. I couldn't even forgive myself. I was like, God, I'm sitting here and you want me to go back? I'm not even worthy of going back. So I had to, the first thing was, God said, I forgive you. Now forgive yourself. I'm like, is anybody else gonna forgive me? Because I've hurt a lot of people. I've done some damage to a lot of people. And I'm just like, okay, I understand the scriptures say you reap what you sow. Do I want to go back and reap what I sowed? Do I really want that? And the enemy's like, no, you don't want that. You might as well stay where you are. You might as well just stand still. You can turn and look at it, but you might as well stand still or take some steps backwards because I need you to stay where you are. And I'm telling you, this is what the enemy was saying to me when God asked me to start walking forward. I'm standing there like, do I want to deal with, will Yvette forgive me for everything that I've done? Oh my God. Will my kids forgive me for what I've done? Oh my God. Will anybody forgive me for what I've done? I don't know. Will they hate me? Will they talk about me? I don't know. What's going to happen? Man, I'm telling you, listen, I'm telling you my life. I'm telling you this thing was like real to me. Steps that I had to go back. It was like, okay, God started bringing back to my remembrance a scripture. He says, I will never leave you nor forsake you, Gerald. I was like, okay. All right, so now you with me while I'm hitting this pornography. You with me while I'm hitting this perversion. You hitting me while I'm hitting this masturbation. You hitting me while you with me while I'm doing this stuff, because these things are like, you just imagine you going down a road and these things are on the side of the road grabbing at you, trying to pull you back. No, you can't go. But the word of God is just cutting off the hands. And then my wife, bless her heart, she just praying her behind off in the back door, in the closet, in the where I didn't know she was doing, because I was still away from home. I wasn't at home. I wasn't in the house. That wasn't me. I wasn't in the home doing this. I was away. All right. She didn't see me. She didn't know where I was. It was time. She didn't even know where I was, but she was praying. And let me tell you, some of them prayers was just cutting off the enemy's hands. You can't hold on to him. You can't grab him. Let him go perversion. Let him go lust. Let him go lie. Let him go distrust. Let him go bad communication. Let him go rejection. Let him go, unforgiveness. Let him go rebellion. Let him go alcohol. Let him go drugs. Let him go liar. All of these, depression. Let him go suicide. She was just cutting them off. I didn't even know she was doing that stuff. Then she started praying who I was. And then God started saying, do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Do you know the power that you have? I can do exceedingly abundantly above all that you ask or think, according to the power that worketh in you, Gerald. You got power in you. So now I'm like, oh, I got some power. Use your words. Start speaking at these things. Start declaring who you are. And then I started saying, my wife she sent me the list as I was saying it. Every time I said, I got a little bow. I got a little cocky. I got a little power. I got a little authority. My shoulders came up. My head came up. I'm looking a little different. I'm sounding a little different. My steps are a little different. And now I'm walking in something different now. And now it's like, oh, I got you now. But it was some stuff that was not just reaching out. It was jumping out. That pornography, this is going to be your roadblock. What you going to do? How you going to get over this? How you going to get past this? Hey, man, you tripping, man. I'm jumping over you. And I'm jumping over you with the grace of God. I'm jumping over you with the authority of God, the power of God. And who I am, I'm able to jump over you. And I had to do it. And then he jumped back out there again. It was like I was doing hurdles. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Same. All it was is perversion, because it was a generational curse. These curses, these generational curses, they just pop back in. Rejection. Oh, they're gonna, they over there talking loud. They're not gonna love you. They don't love you anymore. You just a heathen. You just a nobody. They already want to put you in a mental ward. I mean, all of these things to try to make me go back to the suicidal thoughts. And suicide is over there. Yeah. By the time you get halfway there, you're gonna think about me. You're gonna want me again. You're gonna want to hang out with me again. I'm just telling you, this is my story. I'm just telling you how I had to live. So now, if there's someone that's out there that has battling with rejection, and that you had any of these things, any of these symptoms, any of these things that you had to deal with, listen, you can come out of that. There's a turnaround for this. There's a turnaround. I'm walking you through this turnaround. And so now I understand why God said, I need you to do this turnaround. I need you to talk about the turnaround. Talk about what you did, Gerald. Talk about how these things try to attack you. And I'm listening to you. I mean, they still there because I'm still on a journey. They still talk. They still trying to grab me. They still trying to do these things. But let me tell you something. Now I'm in a place where I can stand up. Before, I wasn't in a place where I could stand up. My wife was catching it. I mean, she was catching pure hell. Because she had to actually do it all on her own. She didn't have nobody to tell her anything. She didn't have nobody to coach her. She didn't have nobody. I mean, she had the Holy Spirit and she had God. And those two walked her through and helped me through my deliverance. To help me get to where I am. This is not a game to me. When you feel a spirit of rejection from a parent, when you feel rejected from something that happened in your life and you feel rejected, these things come. Let me tell you what happens with that stuff. It happens because your mind, it's always the battle in the mind. If the enemy can get your mind, if he can get you to continue to think that you are just a rejected person, it makes your walk harder. Because now you're looking for exception. You're looking for somebody to approve you. You're looking for somebody to give you some type of compliment. You waiting on that. And if they don't never get it, it just makes that thing harder. It makes your heart hard. It makes your thinking hard. It makes the way you hear things difficult. It makes the way you see things difficult. All it does is put scales over your eyes. And now it's like you're in a tunnel vision and you only see one way. The way you hear things is totally different. The way you feel things is totally different. And can't nobody tell you anything different because you feel it, you see it, you hear it, you say it. And a rejection by the things that they say. They like to isolate themselves because why? They don't want to get hurt. They got a wall up. You can't even get in that wall. You wondering why you running into a wall every day. Why? Because they don't put up a wall. You better you better speak to Jericho wall. You might want to tell that wall to come down. You might want to be speaking to it. I'm just trying to tell you now. You better speak to it. Because if you don't never open your mouth and you don't never help and speak and help these people come out of this thing, they'll stay bound. Man, my wife had to come out. She had to come out herself. Literally. She had to come out of herself. She had to do some stuff that she didn't even know she had to do. And she had to do it for a long time. I'm like, and not even see anything. You know how crazy that is? And when I sit here and think about it, but let me tell you something. God just does stuff like that. That's what God does. And so if you playing around with rejection and you feel like, this is it, and that's not it. God has a turnaround plan. And so as I was walking on this road of this turnaround, and as I had to fight all of these demons and all of these things that I've already done, I had to go. I mean, it's like I had to come back into a place of forgiveness. I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive my mama. I had to forgive my daddy. I had to forgive everybody that hurt me. And then I had to come back and ask for people that listen, man, if I hurt you, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said it yesterday, man, if any female that I hurt, I lied to, I'm sorry. And I'm talking about from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry. Because I know that my lifestyle altered your lifestyle. My lifestyle changed the way your relationships are now. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. I'm truly sorry. So coming out of a place of rejection took a lot out of me. It took a lot. Because it was a big part of me. It was like it was another personality. Literally, it was another personality. But when I got delivered from the spirit of rejection and all of these little demons that operated in it, that was functioning in it, I had to get rid of them too. But you know what? I couldn't even do that by myself because I didn't have enough strength to do it. So the power of agreement. So me and my wife started agreeing on. I mean, we probably really started the first agreement. I need you to pray for my heart. I need you to pray that my heart is no longer hard, because that all of this stuff got it into my heart, because it was so deep into my heart that if when I opened my mouth, I spoke it. If I hear anything, I'm hearing it from that place. I'm serious. I'm just hearing it from that place. And so it made life difficult, really difficult. And so God told me earlier that time, that week or so, that I'm gonna work on your heart. I'm like, okay, God, whatever. Well, I just need to get down this road, man, because I just see the little light, and I'm just trying to get down the road. So can I hurry up and get down the road? No, this is a process. It took you a long time to get your butt down that way. So why you think that it's gonna take you? You just gonna get back to where you going quickly? Yes, I can do that, but you're not gonna learn anything. So I had to learn something. I was a person that had arrested development, and it was like I wasn't maturing in spiritual things. I wasn't willing to learn anything, because I had to beat these demons down. I had to get past these demons, so it wasn't like they was just gonna let me walk out and and not have to fight something. So yeah, I had to fight those mugs. I had to come at them I had to come at them with my wife. Listen, these things are strongholds. I can't beat these things by myself. Can you help me? So she's praying something different. She's fighting different, because one sends 1,000, two sends 10,000. So we was operating in that place, because I had to get rid of all of those things. And so as I was learning, my wife was able to assist me in a whole lot of things in prayer, a whole lot of things that the Holy Spirit was telling her. Okay, at some point you're gonna have to deal with this. Something happened to you in your past. I was 40 something when I realized that I was molested. I had done blocked that out. The enemy had done put that thing so far back in my memory. I was dead. I was in a sleep, and I woke up, and I was like, oh my God, Yvette, I was molested. And I can see the whole situation. I mean, the whole thing. Every single time she did it. Every single time. I can even see what the clock said when she did it. I can see it. I was like, God, I was so mad. But here we go. Anger came back. Bitter came back. Unforgiveness came back. All of that stuff came back. I was like, God, why would you let me see that and all of these things come back? She said, because you hadn't got it to the root of it. Get it from the root. So now I had to pull that thing from the root. I understood how to pull it from the root, but then I was trying to do a lot of that stuff on my own, because how was I going to do that stuff when I was already, I was in cahoots with it. I was locked in with it. Those things were my friends. Those things were my personalities. Those things were my characters. So it was nothing for me to just operate in those things. But God was like, I need you to be clean. I need to have a clean vessel, showing me these things. And now I got Yvette on my side. Now we battling it together. She's like, okay, here's what you need to say about this. Here's the declarations for this. Here's the things you need to do for this. And then I was doing it, because this is a learning process. I still, to this day, my wife would say something, and the spirit, the unlearning spirit, the unteachable spirit, it always want to pop back up. It's like, I can do this. I can do this on my own. Man, God already told me I can't do anything on my own. That's why I had to walk through this deliverance with my wife. That's why I had to do all of this stuff with my wife. That's why we do what we do together. Yeah, they were like, why, ooh, that's so cute. Y'all wear the same clothes. Y'all got on the same colors. Dude, that ain't my wife. That's me. You know why I do that? Because it helps me to see oneness. It helps me to see agreement. It helps me to see and understand that she's with me. That's why we do that. Now, that's just cute to everybody else, but to me, that's my deliverance. That thing there, that helps me to understand that my wife she loves me and she ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you, just a simple act, that simple act of wearing the same colors helps me to fight rejection. And all of those demons that go with it. Because I know what she is to me. She saved my life in high school. And she saved my life in this marriage. And I call her my lifesaver. Because the Bible says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. And he finds favor in the sight of God. My wife has truly been a good thing to me. And so I don't take it lightly. I don't just play around with this. So when y'all see that and you see us with the same colors and we broadcast it and we have the same colors, it's a meaning for that. It's a meaning. It means something. It's my deliverance. It's my battle against rejection. It's my battle against bitterness and unforgiveness. You don't even understand how hard it. This ain't just not a game. It's not a game. This is not a game to me. This is a lifestyle. So we do it, and we do it for real. We do it for real. Rejection is nothing to be played with. Rejection is a stronghold, and rejection will have you going down a road that you really don't want to go down. So if you know someone that is battling rejection, that's truly battling rejection, and I gave you some of the symptoms. I told you what I did and how my life was affected from the womb. I'm talking about from the womb. The womb. You hear what I'm saying? The womb. The womb. Feeling like your parents didn't love you. No one loved you. And then you start creating things. A false identity. Your character, your personality, all of that stuff literally changes. And it takes over. Your heart becomes hard, and you really don't care about what anybody says, what anybody does, or what anybody thinks. It really doesn't even matter to you. It really doesn't even matter to you. But let me tell you something. If you're that person that's on the other side of it, and you're looking at that person, start praying for them. And I mean fervently. Don't just pray. You pray for their salvation. You pray for their life. You pray for their life, not praying for something that you want. Oh, I want my husband to be this man or what. No. God, I need my husband to live and live for you. I need him to be alive. I want life back in him. I cancel the spirit of death. I cancel all rebellion. Guess what? Rebellion is a sin of witchcraft. So it's witchcraft that's actually going on in a rebellious mind state. It's a mind-altering, mind-demolishing thing. And then you get in bitterness, and you got to get to the root of the bitterness because you have all of this resentment. I resent what you said to me. I resent how you talk to me. I resent how you treat me. And then it becomes hatred. Then you become hate. You don't even want to forgive them. Because you're so angry. I can't forgive you for what you said. I can't forgive you for what you've done. I can't forgive you. This is how the enemy works. This is how he works. And he's been doing it for so long. For so long. So if any of these things are happening in your marriage, are happening in your relationship, are been happening in your bloodline, at some point and at some time, we got to cancel the enemy's plot, plan, and ploys that are signed against you, your husband, your wife, your children, your legacy, your destiny, your purpose, because he wants to kill, steal, and destroy you. Period. He wants to kill, steal, and destroy you. And so let me tell you something. I truly thank my wife. And when I talk about her, I do get emotional. I really do. I really do. Because you don't understand. You don't understand the fight that I have to fight every day. This fight don't go away. It don't go away. I want it to, but God won't allow it to go away because I have to stay consistent. I got to stay disciplined. I got to stay on guard. I got to stay on watch. I'm a watchman. There's no time to close your eyes. There's no time to be inconsistent. I was an inconsistent person and my family was dying. They was getting crushed. My kids were getting crushed. My wife was getting crushed. Everything around us was getting crushed because I wasn't on my post, because I wasn't in my rightful place, because I wasn't doing the things that I was supposed to do. So when I talk about my wife and the things that she had to do and the thing that she still does, you don't even understand the power in that. My wife is a special person. She has a special anointing. She sees things that are in the way. And I used to hate that about her because I used to call her do is see the bad stuff. But if I spend my time looking at the good stuff and not see the bad stuff, I fall in traps. I fall in snares. I fall into temptation. I fall into lust. I fall into lies. I fall into all of these things. So yes, my wife has to do what she does. Yes, she has to be who she is. She's my lifesaver. She's my lifesaver. Man, this is not a joke. And this is very hard. Very hard. But I thank you, Yvette. I thank you for helping me. I thank you for continually helping me. I thank you for loving me when I wasn't even lovable, caring for me when I didn't even care for myself, doing things that most people just don't want to do, even when it's hard, even when it's difficult. You still was willing to do it. Sometimes you didn't want to do it, but you just wanted to please God, and I love you for that. I really love you for that. I love you for the teaching that you teach. I love you for helping other women. I love you for all of it. And I do know that through this stuff, through my trials and my tribulation, you've gotten stronger. You've gotten wiser. You got an understanding of what God truly wants from a helpmeet that is truly suitable. This is not about a contract. You know, a wife is like a contract. You just go to the courthouse and you can get a contract and you can be married. But when you start talking about a helpmeet suitable, you start talking about a covenant. You start talking about sacrifices that have to be made. Are you willing to make that sacrifice? Are you willing to make that sacrifice for an addict? Are you willing to make that sacrifice for a liar? Are you willing to make that sacrifice for a broken man? A man that was bound. Are you willing to make that sacrifice? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And people say, I know somebody saying, why that dude on here crying? Bruh, if you only knew what I went through, if you knew what I was feeling now, man, listen, if you have the ability to help. If you have the strength to help. If not, find a resource that can help you to be able to help someone else, to help your spouse, to be able to help your children, to be able to help yourself. Because if not, the enemy will have you locked down doing the same thing year after year after year, and you never find any relief. You never find any happiness, because he's coming and stealing your happiness. He's stealing your joy. He's stealing your peace. He's stealing your heart. He's stealing everything around you, and he wants to destroy you. He wants to destroy you. Anything that looks like God, he's trying to destroy. Anything that sounds like God, he wants to destroy. Anything that has a destiny and purpose in God, he wants to destroy. So if he had opportunity to destroy me in my mother's womb, I think he would have. But I thank my mother for having the courage to have me. She understood. My mom understood. My mom had so much faith in God, so much faith in God, and she gave that to me. She gave that to me. She gave that to me. The enemy wanted me to hate my mom. The enemy wanted me to dislike my mom. And I did for a little bit. But then I understood who she really was and how the enemy tried to kill her in my grandmother's womb. So he understood my bloodline. He understood who I was going to be and what I was going to be. So he wanted to kill my mama before my mama could have me. He was trying to get to me. He was trying to get to me. My mom operated in rejection. My mom operated in bitterness and anger and unforgiveness for a long time. And then I operated in the same thing. How many times have you ever said, especially men, I'm not gonna be, if your dad wasn't there or just, wasn't who he was supposed to be, and you say, I'm never gonna be like him. Man, and you end up doing the exact same things your dad did. That was me. And I hated my dad for that. Literally, I hated my dad. I didn't like my dad. But let me tell you something. My mom would always say, Gerald, you got to forgive your dad. I'm like, dude, forgive him for what? I don't even know him. I mean, I know him, but I don't know him. So what am I going to forgive him for? Because he never been around? Because yes, that hurt. Yes, I hate. Yes, that is. But listen, I'm to a place now. I'm grown. I've come out of those. Daddy, I'm good with this. Now, if he good with me, that's cool. If he ain't good with me, that's between him and God. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just going to do what God told me to do. And so I forgive. Because I don't want to be in bitterness. I don't want to be in unforgiveness. I don't want to be in rebellion. I don't want to be in those places. I don't want to be in those places. So, like I said earlier, my wife, she helped me in high school to really, and she didn't really know that she was helping me. I wanted to kill, how many times I wanted to kill myself. I don't even know if I told her that. But she spent so much time with me. I don't even know if I ever told her that. She was just there to talk to me. And I'm pretty sure we talked about some of everything and anything, but I don't even know. But I'm just saying, she helped me. She was helping me. She was helping me. And I didn't even know what type of help it was. I just knew that I loved her with all of my being. All of my being. And that's all I wanted. And she helped me. She helped me through this. She talked to me. She talked me through this. And she did things that I didn't feel like nobody else would do. I didn't feel like nobody else would do, and she did it. And so I was like, okay, good. Thank you, Yvette. Appreciate you. I still appreciate you, Yvette, because you was my lifesaver then, and you use my lifesaver now, and you you literally only do what God says do. And so you're what they call a living epistle. You have done it. It makes it easy for me to do it. It makes it easy for me to do it. Because I've seen it. I've seen it done. I've seen it said. I've seen you in action. And so it gives me the strength and the faith that, and I do it. And I've been doing it. And it gets I'm not saying easier, because God is always taking me from one level to another level, and each level has something different, and I'm battling something, stronger than the things that I had to battle. And so it's a different place. And so I thank God for a power of a team. Unity. I thank God for our union. I thank you for the covenant. I thank for all of that, because this is that place. So I pray that this thing help you. I pray that it help you. I'm telling you, I pray that this help you, because Isaiah 53, I don't even know if I gave you a scripture. Isaiah 53:3, he was despised and rejected by mankind. And in my mind, I was rejected by mankind, my mama, my daddy, and everybody else. Even Yvette at one point. And so coming out of rejection, you're gonna need some help. So if you need some help, find some resources, find some material that deal with rejection, understand spiritual warfare, because you're gonna need to know how to fight the fight to come out of rejection. Because rejection is not gonna just say, "Oh, see you later." Not gonna happen. Why? Because it's a stronghold. Why? It has tentacles. It has roots like an oak tree that's not ready to be pulled up. And so you're going to need it's going to take some strength. It's going to take some fight, and it's going to take some time to uproot everything that operates in rejection, operates in bitterness, operates in rebellion. So please get some help. And if you're that person that can help your spouse, please help your spouse. Don't give up on them. They're fighting. They're in a they're the strongholds are just too strong. They don't have enough strength to fight. They need someone that's going to fight, not someone that's going to just sit there and like, I can't take this anymore. You're just. They know they know who they are. They wake up and look at themselves every day in the mirror. They know who they are. They don't want to be this person. No one wants to be this person. No one. No one. The enemy has deceived them to make them feel like this is who they are and they can't be anything else. And so they self-medicate. They go to whatever the thing it is that makes them feel comfortable that they can operate in, and then they can blame whatever they say and whatever they do on that thing. Just saying. That's what happens. So don't let the enemy put you in a pity party. Don't let the enemy cause you to get for the spirit of rejection and the spirit of anger and the spirit of resentment and the spirit of unforgiveness jump on you, and all of a sudden now you feeling suicidal. Now you can't handle it. Now you're a victim. You might want to get some resources or get some help to help you battle this fight, because you trying to battle this thing by yourself and you just can't. You need some help. So get some help. Get some resources. There are things that's out there. There's different ministries that work with it. You know, you go to our website, GeraldineYvette.com. My wife, the spiritual warfare, I just explained to you who my wife was. I told you what my wife does. She has an army, and if you can ask any one of these women that's in this army who my wife is, they will let you know that if it ain't God, it ain't gonna. It's focusing on what God wants, then you gonna have an issue. If you won't understand and the power of God to make it through, then you gonna need some resources. So let me tell you once again, get yourself some help. Some help. I thank God for my help. I thank God for my wife. I thank God for the team. I thank God for the army that my wife building, a army of women that are understanding spiritual warfare, that are understanding how to tap into God and hear God talking about precise instructions on what to do. I mean, when God gives you something precise to do and it doesn't even line up with your natural thinking, he give you a key to unlock something that you didn't even know that you was getting ready to unlock, because you were obedient and you was in a still place to hear his voice. So I'm just saying, if you go to the website GeraldineYvette.com, you can go. We got counseling, we got mentoring, we got a store that has a bunch of webinars on it. Listen, some of those webinars, man, my wife been teaching. She teaches on those webinars for like 3 hours of how to fight spiritual warfare, how to win back your family, how to stay still, how to be obedient to the word of God, how, fight for your family, all of those things, man, that she had to do. I mean, she had to do this stuff by herself. She literally had to do it by herself, and her, God, and the Holy Spirit. And so, babe, I thank you for who you are. You just so pleased with you. So once again, I'm Gerald Benton with one half of Geraldine Event Ministries, and I know I probably went more than an hour, babe. I'm sorry, but I couldn't even stop. I tried. I really tried. So listen, man, if these things bless you, please just, get some hearts, get some love. Talk to somebody else about it, man. If you know somebody that's dealing with it, um, send it to them, talk to them about it. But just don't leave them out there hanging. Don't leave them by themselves. And it's power in praying together. So pray with one another. Pray with one another. Help each one, any one of my brothers or any one of my sisters that has to deal with rejection the way I had to deal with rejection, or to deal with bitterness and all of this other rebellion and all of these things, man, that I constantly had to deal with. I don't want you to have to deal with it. So, um, pray for somebody, please. Take this day and take this challenge to pray for somebody. If you know they're dealing with rejection, pray for them. Find some scriptures that's dealing with rejection and pray for them. All right. For joining me. Thank you for hanging out with me. I don't know what God is going to do tomorrow, but I'll turn around. So whatever He tells me to do in the morning, tomorrow morning, I'll do it. So if He tells me it was pouring down raining, now it's not raining anymore. Our God is good to me because He knows He wants me to walk. So He allows the sun the rain to stop so I can get my walk in, and that's when I get more revelation, get more understanding in doing what I'm doing. All right. Once again, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate your love. I appreciate your sharing. I appreciate all the stuff that you're doing. Once again, it's GeraldineYvette.com. And check out some of the resources. Get that book. That book is Revelation and a workbook. So not just a book that you read, but it's a book. This is a teacher, right? You get a book and a workbook. And the workbook gonna make you work. It's gonna make you think. It's gonna make you do something. Because ain't no need to get in the book and you ain't going to do anything with it. So now you get a book and a workbook. And if you're serious about being a helpmeet, you'll understand that I got to put the work in through the workbook to understand how to be that helpmeet that's suitable. Helpmeet suitable. All right. Thank you. Once again, appreciate you. Much love. See you hopefully tomorrow. Be blessed.